When she got home, she cried to me that everyone had found and she was the only one with an empty hand. My mother confirmed three special gifts for each relative for the loan of 5,000 yuan in foreign exchange to the cousin's so-called uncle who wanted to buy a motorcycle but who later disappeared for good along with money. When the train pulled out on Hongzhou the next day, those who find themselves depleted of some $9,000 worth of goodwill months later, after an inspiring Krishna time service at the First Chinese Baptist Church, Auntie Anne May tried to recoup her loss by saying it truly was more blessed to give than to receive. And my mother agreed her longtime friend had blessings for the least several lifetimes. Listening now to Auntie Lin bragging about the virtues of her family in China, I realized that Auntie Lin is obvious to Auntie Anne May pains. Is Auntie Lin being mean? Or is it that my mother never told anybody but me, the shameful story of Auntie Anne May's greedy family? So Jing Mei, you go to school now, says Auntie Lin. Her name is June. They all go by their American names, says Auntie Ings. That's okay, I say, and I really mean it. In fact, it's even becoming fashionable for American-born Chinese to use their Chinese name. I'm not in the school anymore, though I say that was more than 10 years ago. Auntie Lin eyebrows arched. Maybe I'm thinking for someone else's daughter, she says. But I know right away she's lying. I know my mother probably told her I was going back to school to finish my degree. Because somewhere back, maybe just 6 months ago, we were again having this argument about my being a failure, a college dropout, about my going back to finish once again. I had told my mother what she wanted to hear. You're right, I look forward into it. I had always assumed we had an unspoken understanding about these things, that she didn't really even I was a failure. And I really meant I would try to respect her opinions more. But listening to Auntie Lin tonight reminds me once again, my mother and I never really understood one another. We translated each other's meanings. I seemed to hear less than that was said, while my mother heard more, no doubt. She told Auntie Lin I was going back to school to get doctorate. Antolin and my mother were both best friends and arch enemies. Spent a lifetime comparing their children. I was 1 month older than Waverly Joel, Antolin's prized daughter. From the time we were babies, our mother compared the creases in our belly buttons, how shapely our earlobes were, how fast we healed when we are scraped our knees, how thick and dark our hair, how many shoes we wore out in 1 year and later, and how smart Waverly was playing chess, how many trophies she had won last month, how many newspaper had printed her name, how many cities she had visited. I know my mother resented listening to Antolin to talk about Waverly when she had nothing to come back with. At first, my mother tried to cultivate some hidden genius in me. She did housework for an old retired piano teacher down the hall who gave me a lesson and free use of piano to practice on in exchange. When I failed to become a concert pianist or even an accompanist for a church youth choir, she finally explained that I was late blooming, like Einstein, who everyone thought was retarded until he discovered a bomb. Now it is Auntie Ying who wins his hands in the mahjong. So we count the points and begin again. Did you know Lena moved to Woodside? Asked Auntie Ying with obvious pride, looking down at the tiles, talking to no one in particular. She quickly erases her smile and tries for some modesty. Of course, it is best house in neighborhood. Not $1 million house, not yet. But it's good investment. Better than paying rent. Better than somebody putting you under their thumb to rob you out. So now I know Auntie Ying's daughter Lena told her about my being evicted from my apartment on the lower Russian Valley. Even though Lena and I are still friends, we are grown naturally, cautious about telling each other too much. Still, what little we say to one another often comes back in another guise. It's the same old game. Everybody's talking in circles. It's getting late, I say after we finish the round. I start to stand up, but Auntie Lynn pushes me back down into the chair. Stay. We talk a while, get to know you again. She says, been a long time. I know this is a polite gesture on the Joy Luck aunties. Part of protest, when actually they are just as eager to see me go as I am to leave. No, I really must go now. Thank you, I say. glad to remember how the pretense goes. But you must stay. You have something important to tell you from your mother. Auntie Ying blurts out in too loud voice. The other look uncomfortable. If this were not how they intended to break some sort of bad news to me. I sit down. Auntie Anne May leaves the room quickly and remains with bowl of peanuts and quietly shouts the door. Everybody is quiet, as if nobody knew where to begin. It is Auntie Ying who finally speaks. I think your mother died with an important thought on her mind, she says, halting English. And then she begins to speak English, Chinese calmly, softly. Your mother was a very strong woman, a good mother. She loved you very much, more than her own life. And that's why you can understand why mother like this could never forget her other daughters. She knew they were alive. And before she died, she wanted to find her daughters in China. The babies in Guilin, I think. I was not those baby. The baby's in a sling on her shoulder. Her other daughters, and now I felt as if I were in Guilin, amidst the bombing, and I can see these babies lying on the side of the road. The red thumbs popped off their mouth, screaming to be reclaimed. Somebody took them away. They were safe. And now my mother's left me forever, going back to China to get this baby. I can barely hear Auntie Ying's voice. She had searched for years, written letters back and forth, say Auntie Ying's. And last year, she got an address. She was going to tell your father soon, Aya. What a shame. A lifetime of waiting. Auntie Anne Ming interrupts with an excited voice. So, your aunties and I, we wrote to this address, she says. She said that certain party, your mother, want to meet another certain party, and this party write back to us. They are sisters. They are your sisters, Qingpei. My sister, I repeat myself saying these two words together for the first time. Auntie Anne May is holding a sheet of paper as a teen's wrapping tissue in perfectly straight vertical rows. I see Chinese characters written in the blue fountain pen. Written in the blue fountain pen ink. A word is smudged, a tear. I take the letter with the shaking hands, marveling at how smart my sister must be to be able to read and write Chinese. The aunties are all smiling at me, as though I had been a dying person who has now miraculously recovered. Auntie Ying is handing me another envelope. Inside is a check made out to June Wu for $1,200. I can't believe it. My sister are sending me money? I ask. No, no, say Auntie Lynn with her monk, exasperated voice. Every year we save our mahjong winnings for a big bucket at a fancy restaurant. Most times your mother win. So must is her money. We adjust a little so you can go Hong Kong. Take a train to Shanghai. See your sister. Besides, we are all getting too rich, too fat. She pats her stomach for proof. See, my sisters, I say numbly. I'm crying now, sobbing and laughing at the same time, saying but not understanding this loyalty to my mother. You must see your sister and tell them about your mother's death, says Auntie Ying. But most important, you must tell them about her life. The mother they did not know, they must know now. See my sisters? Tell them about my mother, I say, nodding. What will I say? What can I tell them about my mother? I don't know anything. She was my mother. The auntie starts looking at me as if I had become crazy right before their eyes. Not know your own mother? Cries Auntie Annie with disbelief. How can I say? Your mother is in your bones. Tell them the story of your family here. How she became successful, offers Auntie Lynn. Tell them stories she told, lessons she taught, what you knew about her mind, that he has become your mind, says Auntie Ying. Your mother is very smart lady. I hear more choruses of tell them, as each auntie frantically tries to think what should be based on her kindness, her smartness, her dutiful nature to family, her hope things that matters to her, the excellent dishes she cooks. Imagine a daughter not knowing her own mother. And then it occurs to me, they are frightened in me. They see their own daughters just as ignorant, just as unmindful of all truths and hopes they have brought to America. They see daughters who grew impatient when their mothers talk in Chinese, who think they are stupid when they explain things fractured English. They see the joy and luck do not mean the same to their daughters. That to this close American-born mind, joy luck is not a word. It does not exist. They see daughters who will bear grandchildren born without any connecting hope passed from generation to generation. I will tell them everything, I say simply. And Auntie look at me in doubtful faces. I will remember everything about her and tell them. I say more family. Gradually, one by one, they smile and pat my hand. They still look troubled, as if something were out of balance. They also look hopeful that what I say will become true. What more can they ask? What more can I promise? They go back to eating their soft-boiled peanuts, saying story among themselves. They are young girls again, dreaming of a good times in the past and the good times yet to come. A brother from Ningbo who makes her sister cry with joy when he returns $9,000 plus interest. A youngest son whose stereo and TV repair business is so good he sent leftovers to China. A daughter whose babies are able to swim like a fish in a fancy pool in Woodside. Such a good times. Such a good stories. The best. They are the lucky ones. And I am sitting at my mother's place at the mahjong table on the east, where things begin. Anne May Shu's car.